Hello, and welcome to the Berkshire Football Stories chat podcast with me, Rob Davies, Tom Canning,
Hello,
and Abby Ticehurst.
Hello.
So we will be discussing all the happenings in Berkshire football over the course of the last week, and looking ahead to some weekend's fixtures. But before that starts, Tom, Abby, how have you been over the weekend?
Very good. I'm just reminded that when Abby said, "Oh, we're doing a podcast this week," you said, "Oh, there's no football at the weekend."
Yes, there's no football at the weekend. We had some midweek, so we've got some to talk about and some other events. But we could have a little chat first to pad this out before we go on to the midweek games and the events of the week. Yeah.
Well, it's always good fun. Always good fun.
Always good fun indeed. Yeah, Abby, what have you been up to?
Oh, I was forced to go watch the Egg Chasers instead.
No.
No, it was actually a very, very good game. I went to Bracknell Rugby Club. Shout out Bracknell Rugby Club and Ian, legends. And they were playing a derby game against Maidenhead. Bracknell probably don't want to talk about that game. They weren't bad, but they lost. So, but no, yeah, that no football meant I had to occupy my afternoon with something else. So yeah, I went and watched some rugby.
Some rugby. Well, I've topped both of you because I was in Lisbon over the weekend enjoying
Gallivanting
the sunshine,
once more, Rob.
Tapas and wine. So I'm quite happy with how the weekend went for me. So yeah.
So smug.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Trademark emotion. Yeah.
How was Lisbon, Rob? Tell us all about it.
Oh, I don't think I've got time on this pod to go into how great it was, but yeah, lovely city, and if you get a chance to visit, I would highly recommend it.
It is on my list. It actually is on my list for places to go. So
next one,
some recommendations soon.
Will do. But while there was no football over the weekend, we did have quite a big announcement from Bracknell Town on the departure of manager Bobby Wilkinson. On Saturday, Bracknell released a statement saying that on Thursday we accepted the verbal resignation of first-team manager Bobby Wilkinson. Bobby was going to take today's game. However, sadly, events unfolded as they did on Thursday, and today's game was rightly postponed. As a club, we appointed Bobby in 2019 when he had planned to have been further along the journey at this stage. 2 seasons ended due to the COVID pandemic and seen as only able one promotion in 3 years. In recognition of Bobby's outstanding achievements last season and out of respect to his ambitions to manage at a higher level, we have, subject to legal agreement, accepted his resignation. The board would like to thank him and his coaching team for their continued efforts and success. We wish him all the best for the future. Bit of a surprise, that one, hey, guys?
A tad.
Yeah, sort of came out of nowhere. I mean, Bracknell had started reasonably well in the season. I don't think it's necessarily a decision based on anything that's happening at Bracknell, but maybe he seems to have an opportunity higher up the table, if that statement is anything to go by. What do we think?
Well, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, you as much digging around as you want to do, you can find any number of reasons in terms of where he might go and what he might do. But I have spoken to Bobby briefly, but he was not letting anything out of the bag, so to speak. So, yeah, just certainly a big surprise. And it will be really, really interesting to see what happens next. I think Bobby got that team into shape, so it will be very, very interesting to see who comes next. I have no idea who they might go for next either. It's it's a funny one because often in professional football, there's a bunch of people who are available. I have no idea who's available.
Yeah. So Bracknell have advertised the job and are taking applications. So hopefully there'll be some sort of update from them soon. Abby, you look like you're about to say something there.
No, I think they closed applications on Monday, so I'm assuming it's probably going to be quite a swift turnaround, obviously, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it, really, considering we're we're into the season considerably already, and so they'll want to bring someone in ASAP to keep the momentum that Bracknell are under right now. So yeah, I think we'll probably see an announcement fairly soon. I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, we're yet to see where Bobby will turn up, but probably based on how that statement was worded, I think he's probably got something in the pipeline, something lined up, shall we say, and we probably be at step 2 or higher. So yeah, watch this space for where Bobby turns up. It'd be very interesting. But you've got to say, his tenure over Bracknell was hugely successful, and they do mention that he would have liked to have been promoted earlier, but 2 seasons affected by the COVID pandemic. You know, that the way he got that side playing was pretty incredible, really. They were really ferocious, both on and off the ball, in terms of work rate, especially, and they had some great talent running through the side. It'd be a hard act to follow, hey?
Definitely. I think, was it Steve, the voice of reason, Steve Gabb, used to say it was exhausting watching them, let alone being them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not. He wasn't sure whether it was easier playing against or for a Bobby Wilkinson side, because he's added such a great work ethic to that squad, and hopefully that will stand them in good stead, whoever comes in next. But he is more than worthy of a slot far higher up the pyramid. So I guess we wait to see where that happens.
He's got experience up that sort of slightly higher level as well. So
he has, obviously, he's managed at step 2. Was he?
Wealdstone and Hungerford.
Yeah, Wealdstone and Hungerford at step 2. He didn't manage Wealdstone in the National League, did he?
I don't think so.
No. So I think it was step 2 for both those sides. But yes, I mean, if I was a step 2 side and or above even, and looking out for a manager, then Bobby Wilkinson would be pretty high on my wish list, I think. Good. So if we don't really have too much to say on that, other than to commemorate Bobby Wilkinson's time at Bracknell and wish him the best for the future. So with that, I guess we move on. Oh, sorry, Tom, you are going to speak to. Yeah, this is nice and smooth. Yeah.
Oh.
So Tom later today is going to speak to long-time Bracknell supporter Steve Whitty and get his thoughts on Bobby Wilkinson's time at the club. So podcast listeners, you will hear that now, and the rest of us will skip on to the next event. So the football we do have to talk about all happened midweek, and we have some pretty big fixtures in the mid side of the game. The FA Trophy first qualifying round ties, both two Berkshire clubs in action. Binfield away at Marlow, getting a resounding 4-0 victory, and Thatcham also away at Cirencester and getting through 1-0 as well. So 2 Berkshire sides progressing to the next round. I think we'll start with the Binfield result. That was pretty impressive, wasn't it, Tom?
Sorry, I got caught out by something that's popped up on Twitter. I completely missed what you just said.
How professional as ever. We're just talking about the Binfield result last night, Tom.
Yes, it's incredibly impressive. Sorry, the reason I got distracted was because there's a report of a player from Manchester United women going to PSG after the English transfer window was closed. And it seems mad. Sorry, I just got distracted by that. Apologies. Really good win. Binfield have started the season incredibly well. And they have only conceded 1 goal. Is it 8 matches they've played? 1 goal conceded, 1 draw, and they've won the rest of them. Just crazy. They've done very well. They had 4 goals scored last night. 1 from new signing. Is it Johnny Efeji? Probably pronounced that terribly. Sorry, Johnny. Jonathan Denton, Sean Moore, and Brandon Curtis, all getting in on the act, as it were. But yeah, just what a really good. I thought Marlow are one of those teams in my head. No matter what, they're always good. and they're currently they're 8th in the Isthmian League at the moment. I don't expect them to struggle this season. So going to Marlow is always tough, and to come away with a 4-0 win. Certainly in my time of being aware of Marlow as a football club, 25 odd years, there's not many teams have won 4-0 there. So someone may come on and say, no, it's fairly regular. But I'm to my mind, whenever I've been interested in teams playing at Marlow, 4-0 wins are not regular. So it's a great start, and Chris Grace rightly won the goalkeeper of the month award for the division last month. So absolutely stunning start to the season, and they've got the small matter of Tonbridge Angels this weekend, National League South side in the FA Cup. If they come away with still having only conceded 1 goal this season from that game, I think we can all assume that they're going to do very, very well this year.
You're all aboard the hype train, will it?
Yes.
Indeed, yeah. No, they have only played 4 league games due to the postponements and other issues. But they've, like you say, they're already second in the table, and have taken 10 points from those 4 games, and have actually played 2 of the sides I think that are quite fancy to be up there come the end of the season in Chertsey and Basingstoke. So a pretty impressive start all round from Binfield, and hopefully we'll be talking a lot more about them as the season goes on.
I suspect so. Yes, I suspect. Have you been to the ground? Have you been to Have you been to the ground since they've done a lot of work?
No, I haven't. I was talking to Rob Chalice about this the other day when I was at the Hollyport Binfield game at Summerlees. But I haven't been down there since they've had a few of the updates. So how's it looking?
It's very impressive. Really, really smart. They've done an absolutely brilliant job. The T-bar is refurbed and rebuilt, and just the rest of the place just looks amazing. So they've done an absolutely smashing job. Still not got the sort of the terrace under the clubhouse on that hill that I'm banging on about that they need. That I feel like would really cement it as. Cementing is one of the things you'd need to do. So
that's such a dad joke, Tom.
Oh dear! Wait till you see the dad dancing from last night.
Imagine.
So it's really smart. They've done a really good job.
Very good indeed. Well, their reward for getting through Marlow is an away tie at Tame United in the second qualifying round. So not too far to travel for them. And another stern test, but one that you wouldn't put it past them going through. So yes, good things hoping for Binfield. Thatcham, like we said, 1-0 victors at Cinderford Town. They are rewarded with a home tie against AFC Dunstable. So go on, Tom.
I was going to say they scored in the first minute, as far as I can see. Ashley Howell scored in the first minute, and it looks like they've had a few other chances. Very hard to tell from a club Twitter account whether they were sort of backs to the wall stuff. But it looks like they had a few other chances. But certainly, first win of the season. They'll be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, a little bit of a patchy start for them, but yes, the 2 sides, Binfield and Thatcham, actually play each other next Tuesday at the Stacker Truck Stadium or Waterside Park. So, if you're in the area on Tuesday night, that looks like one that'd be very much worth trying to get down to.
How many trucks could a stacker truck stack if a stacker truck could stack trucks?
There you go.
There we go. I've been thinking about that for quite a long time.
I can tell.
You were saying it for quite a long time, to be fair. So.
They can have that for their next radio advert if they like.
Get the royalties in the post.
I did get it the right way. How many trucks could a stacker truck stack if a stacker truck could stack trucks? Yes.
He's getting cocky now.
Exactly, yeah. Very good indeed. I think we'll now move on to
Segue completely there after that.
Yeah, exactly. Draw a line under that and move on to the next item. I think we'll talk about Reading City against Hollyport last night. Another win for Reading City, who have started the season with a 100% record so far. So they're going exceptionally well. And Hollyport also very hard to beat. And they missed a last-minute penalty to potentially get a draw out of that game, which would have been, very good for a side that is going as well as Reading to get a point there. So, first of all, congratulations to Reading and commiserations to Hollyport and all that. But I think what we are going to touch on there is what happened to the Reading Stadium afterwards. There was a break-in last night. They had a piping, a lot of damage to the changing rooms and the clubhouse area, and a lot of the piping stolen from that building. Tom, I think you've already put an article up on the website about this. So,
Yes.
Do you want to maybe touch on it a bit further?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to add from what you've already said. But if anybody knows anything about it, please just head over to Football in Berkshire. Reading, the story is Reading City's ground vandalised, and it's got the crime reference number at the bottom. And equally, if anybody is able to offer the club any support, do feel free to come via us or just get in touch with the club directly. That would be a wise and sensible thing to do if you're able to. I'm just going to stick the there we go. Oh, there you go. Quote reference number. There you are. How about that? That's Rob. You probably can't see that, but Abby,
I can see that. Yeah.
Oh, you can. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So anyone who's watching us now, you've got the crime reference number, as you can see, quote reference number on the bottom of the screen. But podcast listeners, just get along to the website, all the details there, if you have any further information on what's happening there. And it's just so sad to see. This is not the first time it's happened in Reading City, and it's just these clubs are so vulnerable, and it's so much hard work goes into what every club does to get them where they are, and to sort of improve the facilities and try and keep the club going even. And just to have something like this happen is just such a really frustrating setback. More than frustrating, obviously, but just it must be incredibly tough for Reading, and hopefully they can bounce back, and the culprits are found, shall we say. I don't know where I was going with that one.
Well, the thing is, there aren't obviously every club does work on their grounds, but there aren't many that have taken the ground from what it was to what it is now.
Yes.
Like they've take the pitch, for example. It was quite something special at the time, and now it is, generally speaking, green all year round. So the work that they've done doesn't deserve this. So please, if you do know anything, that number at the bottom.
Okay, exactly so. Brilliant. So before we move on from last night's fixtures, not to end it on such a sad note, there was a couple of other games, but one in particular we'd like to highlight is Sandhurst Town's trip to CB Hounslow in the Combined Counties Div 1. After 35 minutes, any fans who went might have been slightly bored at a 0-0 scoreline, but from then Sandhurst managed to score a goal every 6 minutes on average to win 10-0 away from home at a side recently relegated from the level above. So a pretty exceptional scoreline. Good to see Joe Grant getting 45 minutes for the first time since an ACL reconstruction as well. He managed to chip in with 3 goals and assists. So fantastic to see him back out on the pitch after almost a year since his injury. So a lot to unpack there. Were you following that one, Abby?
No. No, I was too busy playing football myself.
Are we going to come? I presume we're going to come to that at some point.
If you want to, yeah.
Okay. I mean, Sandhurst have started brilliantly, haven't they?
Yeah.
The number we've almost had a complete flip from last season, where most of our teams started really badly, with the exception of Bracknell. Whereas this season, Sandhurst are absolutely flying. I was just trying to work; they've got a goal difference already of +35, which is crazy. If I could just flag one thing that's a mild irritant. On the Sandhurst graphics, they've got some really nice graphics that gives the starting lineup, and then at full time, they've just, I presume, used nicknames or first names. Granty, Davey, Marco. Who? Really annoying. Sorry.
Well, I think there's probably 2 points that I'd take from that result last night. First of all, it's Matt Croden's departure. Sandhurst seem to have taken that in their stride and have not missed him too much as of yet, so that's pretty positive for them. And then secondly, we said last season about Berks County scoring every number of goal between 1 and 10 in a game. Are we going to see it from Sandhurst this season?
Let's start a competition.
We haven't updated Berks County sword scores, have we?
No, we haven't. So you need to get the group
with that.
Yeah, you're a little graphic out.
We'll have to get that graphic back out next week and check and see where we are.
Well, I'll have a quick look at the Sandhurst results, because they've scored quite a few different numbers as well. They've got a 10, a 2, a couple of 5s, a 7, and a 3 already. So, they're good for goals, should we say. Exactly, yeah. They've made a good start if they're going to get everything between 1 and 10 for the season. So, yeah, good luck to them in that. Oh, they got a 1 as well. So, yeah, flying. Absolutely. Well, so we'll leave last week's football there. And Abby, we can look ahead to the start of the WSL ×2. Obviously, all the games last weekend were postponed. So Reading will now kick off their fixtures on Saturday at 12 o'clock away at Manchester United. Tricky start to the season, that one.
Yep, that'll be a repeat of last season's beginner as well. Hopefully not the same score though. I feel like slightly, actually, just regressing slightly, that maybe the game against Liverpool is potentially a blessing in disguise, because I feel like there's always a lot of pressure to beat the championship team that come up, because obviously they're new to the division most of the time. So the pressure to beat them as the WSL holding club is probably slightly glad that that's maybe out the way and we're going to face them later on in the season. But yeah, that doesn't mean United are going to be any easier at all. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit, now that I've had a little bit of an assessment of the squad, I am feeling a little bit more positive about the squad generally. And we did beat them with a arguably weaker squad previously. So, yeah, I don't know. But I think, Manchester are just quite a tricky team for us, I think. And actually, I think we've got quite a few tricky games coming up generally, actually. I feel like Brighton next as well. They're one of our bogey teams, it feels like. And then Arsenal after that. So, it's going to be an interesting one, I think. But no, I am actually quite excited for the start of the WSL and a little bit nervous.
A little bit more positive than you were last week.
Yeah, I'm just, Rob, I told you, I'm trying not to be a negative Nancy about it.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe actually potentially an extra week after the stupid international break, give them an extra week of gelling as a team and just figuring a few more things out. So I think it's potentially been a little bit of a blessing in disguise just for those, especially those new signings who have come in, just for that extra week of getting to know everybody and getting to know the style of play and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. It does look... Sorry, go on, Rob.
No, go on.
I was going to say, it does look... According to that tweet that I got distracted by earlier is Jackie Groenen is in advanced discussions to join PSG. Is that a bad move? Is that good for Reading?
Yes, potentially, because I think that potentially unsettles them. And if she's gone by the time we play them, that's huge. She is that's crazy talented, Jackie Bronan. She's from the Dutch national squad as well. And she's just
Well, in the interest of Reading getting the win, I'll drive her to Paris.
nice. You'll take her there yourself, yeah.
Yes, although they do still have Russo, don't they? So
Well, yeah, that is, and Ella too. I'm just
oh no.
So
Oh no.
Yeah. But I think that will potentially unsettle them as a squad as they go into this weekend if they feel like Brennan is going to leave. So again, that's another thing that plays into our hands. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see.
Good. Well, yeah. Good luck to Reading, obviously starting their campaign, and obviously you'll hear more about it as the season goes on from us here, and particularly Abby, obviously. Other fixtures that are happening next weekend, probably the premier fixtures on the men's side of the game is the FA Cup second qualifying round. 4 teams from Berkshire in action this weekend. Binfield are at home to Tonbridge Angels. Bracknell are away at Cheshire United, and that game's on Friday night for anyone wanting a game under the lights, away at Cheshire United. Hungerford Town versus Gloucester City, and Slough Town at home to Worthing. 4 pretty tricky ties for our teams. All of them against strong opposition, at least at the same level as the Berkshire side, if not higher. If you had to pick one winner out of those 4 for the FA Cup, who do you think is most likely to get through?
I mean, goodness me, that's like, how hard is that?
I'll pick
one. One of 4. Go on, Abby, then.
I'm going to go for Binfield.
Are you?
Yeah, I think they're on a good run, aren't they? So, and I feel like they just got a little taste for a cup run as well, haven't they, with the FA last year? Maybe. So why not?
I mean, maybe they did. I mean, the last time a team like Tonbridge Angels came down, it was AFC Tottenham. They absolutely mullered them. So I mean, maybe you're right, but blimey, it's not. That would be some result if they got it.
Yeah, there's a 2-step gap.
No disrespect, but yeah, and anything like that. That's some result if they get it.
Yeah, Tonbridge Angels currently 8th in the National League South as well, so well in the hunt for the playoff positions. That would be some result if they do pull it off. If I was to choose a side, I'd probably go with Slough, who are playing Worthing, who are further up the table and actually undefeated this season. So, very strong in their own right. But Slough have won 4 of their last 5 games, and they're really starting to motor in the league. They had a bit of a sort of indifferent start, shall we say, in the league anyway. They only took 1 point for the first 3 games, but now they've really sort of picked up and are themselves on the edge of the playoff places. They're in 9th now, with Worthing up in 3rd. So a really sort of high caliber game there, and I think probably if I had to pick one side, I'd probably go for Slough. So over to you now, Tom. We've had discussion on it from us too. And,
I think Bracknell will beat Chesham.
You think Bracknell will beat Chesham? Oh, big call on that one as well.
I don't think there's any danger there.
No?
I think they'll win that comfortably.
Okay. So Chesham are obviously higher in the table, in the same division as Bracknell, and higher in the table, and have already beaten Bracknell 3-0 this season. So
it's not going to happen again.
Not going to happen again. Fine. I admire your confidence, and I hope you are correct, Tom. So yes, some big games there.
Record, though.
Sorry?
Based on Tom's track record, though.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if that backing is a blessing or a curse. That. So, yeah. But yes, 3 home games for Berkshire sides on Saturday, so plenty of football to get to, and obviously that away fixture in Chesham, which isn't too far away, on Friday night. So some good FA Cup action there. Abby, why don't you talk us through some of the picks of the fixtures on the women's side are coming up this weekend?
Yes, absolutely. It is cup galore this weekend. There's FA Cup, there's Berks and Bucks Senior Cup, there's Berks and Bucks Trophy as well. So lots and lots of cup games to choose from. Without sounding too biased, my top pick would be Ascot versus Maidenhead United.
Of course.
No, I genuinely think it's going to be a really good game, and on this occasion, I like a Berkshire derby for a cup game. So yeah, no, I think it's just going to be a very exciting game, that one. Maidenhead are obviously our National League side. They play in Division 1 South West, and Ascot play in the Premier Division of the Southern Region. So I think it's going to be a tasty tie. Maidenhead have had a little bit of a tricky start to this season. They had to postpone a few of their games, and then they lost to, I think it was Portishead 4-0. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a tricky one for them, their start. Whereas Ascot, I mean, they've only played a game, but like I said last week, beating title favourites Abingdon is a big boost for them. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a tasty tie. So, yeah, I think that is my top pick for women's games this weekend. But elsewhere, as I said, there's loads of cup games. I think there's a few more Berkshire ties as well, actually. Which again, because it's the Berks and Bucks Trophy, I don't mind a Berkshire derby. But I think Wallingford are playing Wargrave. Who else is playing? I think S4K are playing Burfield. I think that would be an exciting game, definitely. And there's also some FA Cup games. And this is where I like the lack of regional choices, because Slough are playing Milton United and Mortimer are playing Watford Ladies Development. So yeah, very exciting. So whoever wins that Slough game will play Ascot in the next round, which is when I then get annoyed about regionalisation. But yeah, so like I said, lots and lots of cup games this weekend. I think there's a few kind of smatterings of league ties, but yes, all the cups.
All the cups, indeed. So most of those games, I'd imagine, will be taking place at 2:00 on Sunday.
Correct.
But yes, for further details, just go onto the Football in Berkshire website, and I'm sure there will be an article there later in the week directing you to exactly where you need to go for all the.
There might be, or Project Forfar might be alive.
Oh,
I know.
And that's all you're going to say, is it? Yeah.
I'm going to say, yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
What was I going to say? Okay, well, maybe we'll have both. You never know.
I mean,
good. Well, Abby's done a good job of covering the women's games there. Tom, why don't you pick out your fixture of the week, away from the FA Cup games? Why don't you pick up one of the
FA Cup games? Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I chose Windsor last week.
Oh,
you did.
So they didn't play.
Oh no, they didn't. Yes, so I'm going to go in that case then with Wokingham and Embrook versus Windsor.
Very good. Berkshire derby there as well, down at the Embrook Sports and Social Club on Lothian Road.
Indeed, yes. That should be good. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, that should be decent. And what else am I looking at? Oh, Finchampstead Reading YMCA in the Thames Valley Premier League. Hello.
Very good. Yeah, both of those sound pretty tasty indeed. So yeah, again, all the details of these fixtures will be on the Football in Berkshire website for you to peruse. And one for me, I think I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Maidenhead United at home to Woking. So pretty much as close as you get for a local derby there in that division for Maidenhead. Yes. So hopefully there'll be a decent crowd and yeah, get down there. They've started the season reasonably well. So any support there, I'm sure, would be appreciated.
Brilliant. I might have one as well.
Oh, go on then, Abby.
It's not Ascot either.
Oh, right. Oh. It's going to be Ascot corner again. No?
No, but it's also not in Berkshire as well, technically. But it does involve a Berkshire side. I think if I wasn't going to the Ascot game, I would probably go and watch Rising Ballers Kensington versus Berks County. That's third versus fifth, and it looks tasty. So that's where I'd go if I would potentially not be at Ascot. But obviously, well, actually, no, I'll be at Wembley.
Yeah, Wembley versus Ascot. So yeah, and to be fair, that's a pretty tasty game as well.
Yeah, true.
Two
Maybe
sides.
I should have put that instead, actually.
Yeah, two sides that are fairly high up the table. Ascot with their 100% record, currently sitting in second, and Wembley in third, who have 100% home records. So something's got to give. Should be a good game. Lots to choose from this weekend, and all the details will be on the Football in Berkshire website. Right, before we get out of here, any other business from either of you? Anything you want to plug particularly?
Look out for Project Forfar. But if I can also just flag the sad news we had this week that Ali Dickie has had to retire. I didn't put this in the article, but if I remember rightly, Ali Dickie is the brother of Queen's Park Rangers Rob Davies. Is it Queen's Park Rangers? Can't remember.
Yeah.
Oxford United, Queen's Park Rangers. Somewhere like that. Or as I saw the joke, is it now King's Park Rangers? But anyway, really sad to see Ali have to do that. Some really nice tributes to Ali on Twitter when Eversley and California announced the news he was the club captain. He snapped his ACL in the semi-final of the Combined Counties playoffs last season. I feel like, Rob, you were at that game, but you might have been at the Berks County game instead.
No, I wasn't at that one, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah,
it did happen really early on in the game. And yeah, so that's him done. So which is very sad. But you never know. It may just be that it gets the bug back a bit later in his life and comes back to it. But obviously, it depends on circumstances and all that kind of thing. I think that am I right in thinking that that's probably one of the worst injuries a footballer can get?
Yeah, it's very hard to.
Definitely.
Yeah, sort of rotation and movement around the knee joint there is really compromised. So yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, sad to see that.
Very sad to see that.
To deal with as well. So yeah, it's not necessarily the actual injury that's the worst part of it. It's often the rehab that's the and the expense of having to deal with it, and the waiting lists, all the joyous things that are part of living in England.
Dear oh dear. So yeah, good luck to Ali Dickie in whatever comes next. So, and hope to see him around the Berkshire football scene at some point in the future. Anything else? No. Okay, in that case, why don't Abby, you do the where we can find everything this week. Save Tom getting it wrong again.
If you would like to go and read anything about all the upcoming fixtures we mentioned, things like that, you can go to the website, footballinbracknell.co.uk, or you can find Football in Berkshire, that works as well. You can also find us on social media, so FI Berkshire or FIB_women. We're on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and we are also on LinkedIn.
To get your CVs in if you want to join the pod. Anyway, we'll leave it there. So thank you very much for listening, and we will close it off by saying it's goodbye from Tom Canning.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye from Abby Ticehurst.
See ya.
It's goodbye from me. Goodbye.